Welcome back to my latest video. So this is regarding the circulatory and the respiratory system and some revision material for the year 9s on what you might be in the test. So first of all, things that we should understand is the difference between the arteries and the veins. So that is that the arteries are basically taking the blood away from the heart once it's got oxygen in it to the different areas of the muscles or the whole body really. So that means that arteries carry oxygenated blood. Once we get to the spot where we need that oxygen, we release it through the capillaries, and then the veins bring the deoxygenated blood back to the heart. So it goes away from the heart through arteries, and it comes back to the heart through veins. So that means that in the blood we have the red blood cells and the white blood cells. So the red blood cells, they're the really important ones for us. They're the ones which carry the oxygen around. So the more red blood cells we have, the fitter basically we can be, because we can carry more oxygen and we can utilize more oxygen in our muscles. Then the heart is basically what pumps the blood all around. There's 4 different chambers of the heart, which we discussed, is that they're basically trying to separate the oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood, and that there's one area which basically receives the blood, and then another area which pumps it out. I'm not going to get you to remember those names, but just to know that that's the function of the heart. So that's the circulatory system. So circulatory, anything to do with the blood basically. The respiratory system is how we actually obtain the oxygen. So we breathe in, the oxygen from the air goes through our lungs. Once it's in our lungs, we need to understand these things called alveoli. Now they're little sacs basically inside of our lungs that collect the oxygen and then diffuse them, so it goes through this little door, which is the alveoli, into our blood, and then it is released into the bloodstream. So that's how the oxygen gets attached to the blood. It's through the alveoli. It's like that demonstration we had with the door, where the classroom was a lung, outside was the blood, and the door was the alveoli, which connects them both. So that's what that gas exchange is. Gas exchange occurs in the alveoli, where oxygen goes from the lungs into the blood, but then also carbon dioxide goes the other way from the blood to the lungs. So the whole point of breathing is to get in oxygen, but then to also get rid of all the carbon dioxide. So some of the important questions which we discussed. Explain why heart rate increases during exercise. Just have a think. So as you're working harder, we need more oxygen as more of our body is functioning. We need more energy. So to get more oxygen, we need to breathe more. When we breathe more, we get this oxygen, we need to get it around the body. So the only way to get it around the body quicker is by pumping the heart faster. So what happens to oxygen when we breathe in? That was going through into the lungs, through the alveoli, little sacs into our bloodstream. Then it gets transported through the body. And then sorry, I got distracted there for a second. And then once it gets to the capillaries, it goes off into the individual molecules which are required. And then it goes back through the veins, but it's deoxygenated then. Getting absolutely heckled here. Why do we breathe out? So one of the things that we discussed was to get rid of the carbon dioxide. We don't get rid of the carbon dioxide. We basically become like toxic basically. So it's important that we breathe out to get rid of this carbon dioxide. That's also why in the heart there's those different chambers, so that we can separate the two. Alright guys, so hopefully that clears a few things up. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and good luck on the tests.